And people in Springfield are talking about gun violence in the community. Tonight, high school students are leading this conversation. News Center 7's Brandon Lewis is live at Springfield High School, where that summit is going this evening. Brandon?
Hey James, the summit is happening here in the cafeteria at the high school, and as you said, the cool thing is that high schoolers are leading the discussion, so everything taking place right behind me. On the stage we have 4 students here at Springfield High School, a mix of freshmen and sophomores, and this has been going on for the past hour. So they are on stage talking about gun violence in general, talking about the impact it's had on them as well as the community. But then take a look at the audience. They're asking questions, having a conversation with them. So we have the NAACP president who is talking right now with the microphone. We have the Clark County Sheriff here, all types of people of all ages, kids, young families. We talked to one of the panelists about just why they're holding this to begin with. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Kids our age are dying because of gun violence, and it's getting like out of hand now.
The Springfield NAACP and the Springfield City School District organized this. We know a few students told stories of the pain they felt dealing with the loss of a loved one due to gun violence. One of the audience members also mentioned the death of Clark County Sheriff's Deputy Matthew Yates from over the summer. And when it comes to youth violence, the student panelists said putting kids in sports and educational programs could also be a way to help.
The kids, they just need a distraction. Like, these kids need to stay out the streets. Like, they need to do something more productive. He was talking about joining a club, stuff like that. Like, that is a great idea. Like, we should have stuff more for kids to be able to do something.
This summit expected to wrap up in about 15 minutes. Organizers hope to continue having events like this here in Springfield and throughout the Miami Valley going forward in the future. We're live in Springfield. Brandon Lewis, News Center 7.
Thanks, Brandon.